So in this episode of the 5,000 subscribers Q&A, we're going to be answering all the questions that I gave really brief answers for because they were simply yes or no questions. So here we go. LTARs asks, Ninjadan, will you do a level swap with me? No. The Real Rednax Gaming asks, I chose face reveal. Firstly, there was no face reveal option on the polls, and I specifically said do not ask for face reveal, so no face reveal. Kevin47113. Igni Abbey. Do you like eating raw potatoes? No. Who does like eating raw potatoes? Do you like eating raw potatoes? RobynTheKidd4712 asks, who are you? I am a disembodied voice on the internet. Are you gay? No. And Delta Sky asks, how do you feel about Geometry Dash as a whole? I just really like building levels in it, and I did not expect the community to be so large, which is great because otherwise this game would be dead 6 years ago. Sam the Man 62 asks, have you beaten Stereo Madness? It's really hard. I have beaten Stereo Madness. It's really hard. Suseven13444 asks, why are hot dogs called hot dogs? Oh no, I'm going to search it up on Google. Google says, as the legend goes, Dogren observed vendor Harry Stevens selling the hot Dacian sausages during a game at the New York Polo Grounds and shouting, get your red hot Dacian sausages. Dogran illustrated this scene with a Dacian dog nestled in a bun with the captions, get your hot dogs. And those are all the dumb questions. So now we're gonna get on to the larger questions. No, Lonesome3958 asks, what's the best video you made? And Questumes3000 asks, what's the best video you ever made? The best video I ever made, well in terms of commentary, I would say would be my Demon List After Acheron video, which is probably the best in that regard. In terms of editing all round, I would say my How Content Will Change in 2.2 is my best video, as I actually animated a whole bunch of players holding items and even coming up with some rudimentary particle effects which I thought were sort of cool. I would say the most entertaining video I've ever made is probably playing my viewers levels part 6 plus Ninja Hell. Luigi Man truly knows how to make a good joke level, and I should really get around to playing more of their levels in the future, especially with the larger audience that I have now. Overall, I would say that my best video I have made was probably my Content Creators in 2.2 video. Overall, it has solid commentary, top of the line editing, and even a few jokes here and there. Shame it only has 11k views. Odyssey1337X asks, who is your favorite Minecraft player? That is a really good question. At last, I thought the good question streak had ended. Wow. I actually started watching Minecraft YouTube videos when I was 19. So I missed everything like X's Adventures in Minecraft and Captain Sparkles, Stampy, the Diamond Minecraft, Paul Sauls Jr. and even Dream. The thing is that when I was a kid, I just played Minecraft and didn't even look at the internet to see what was going on there. Probably due to the fact the internet at home until I was 18 was only good enough to load in a few photos, and if you wanted to watch a full-length movie you'd have to wait all day and all night for it to download. Another thing was that I didn't know that Minecraft servers existed until I was 15, and I joined my first server in June this year, so watching Minecraft content for me at this stage is truly something else. With the question in hand, I have no idea who my favourite Minecraft player is, as I don't actually know anything about competitive Minecraft players. However, I can tell you who my favourite Minecraft YouTubers are. First off, I really like RecRap's content, because he's one of the few Minecraft players that doesn't scream their heads off at everything or play into weird internet trends. He's quite a decent player himself, and I believe he's starting to get into building redstone contraptions, which is quite cool. In fact, RecRap is quite the jack of all trades, great at combat, great at speedrunning, great at editing, great personality, and good enough at building. Yeah, RecRap is just a great overall content creator. On a side note, I do actually quite like Sandiction's content as well. In fact, you can see in some of my earlier videos are inspired from his unique editing style. And then of course there's FetMC, who's my favourite Minecraft commentary creator. When I first realised that his videos exist, I pretty much binged all of them one afternoon because it was so bizarre to see how far the limits of Minecraft were being pushed in 2B2T, much like how they're being pushed in Geometry Dash. Another favourite of mine is quite an underrated Minecraft channel called 7, who makes Minecraft hardcore 100-day videos. He only uploads twice a year or something, but they're really good videos. 7 is incredibly clever on how he sets up his bases in order to prevent whatever it is from getting in and destroying stuff, and is quite well paced and edited as well. PeacedBanana and Ngora ask, will you ever revamp your old levels, maybe add decoration to them or add better gameplay? I do intend to make remakes for both Explosive and Crylocked, however they are both quite a way into the future as I've got many other levels I need to finish before I can really start on them. I haven't started on a remake of Crylocked yet, however I do have a quarter of a layout for Crylocked's sequel which I haven't touched for over 6 months, and the gameplay is probably the most awful baloney possible, so I'm going to keep that one swept under the rug for a little while. The best case scenario with the Crylocked remake, if it ever gets made, is that Crylocked gets verified, I make a video about it, it gets a good view count, and then about a week later I would upload an updated version of Crylocked or some sort of Crylocked remake of some form, and it'll have like actually fair gameplay and it looks good enough to place on the demon list. However, in reality, what's probably going to happen is Crylocked's going to get verified, I'll upload a video that gets a moderate amount of views, and then you won't hear anything about Crylocked again because I'm too busy with other level projects. I am completely open for someone else to make an actual good Crylocked remake after it's verified because I don't care about that level anymore, and I can be as involved or as uninvolved as you like, I don't really care. Now regarding Explosive, I actually started making Explosive Redux around September last year, so it's about a year in the making now, and I feel like in total I've only spent 10 hours on it, which is basically nothing in the creation of a level. And because I started making this level so early on, when I was just getting back into Geometry Dash, the gameplay sort of feels like a whole bunch of copy-paste top ones, and you go through and you'd be like, oh, look at that, it's Slaughterhouse, or oh, look at that, it's Sakupan Circles. And then there's just some really random, brutal, inconsistent mini-wave spam in there too. And sure, it looks good, even by the standards I have today when I make levels, but as for now, I've completely dropped that version of Explosive Redux. In fact, I'm even going to include it in this year's Ninjadan's Unfinished Levels video, so keep a lookout for that. And I basically rebuilt Explosive Redux from scratch, and I'm a lot happier with this version of it. It's got some pretty unique gimmicks, the difficulty is brutal, but not unfair, and my plan is to get advice and feedback from as many Explosive victors as I can that are on hand so I can make it feel like Explosive while still being a good level. And also this level's not going to be a collab, it's just going to be a solo level that I'll be making, and I'll be making both the gameplay and the decoration. So I'm quite excited for that one once I finish it. However, it's going to be a while as I've still got a few other projects I have to finish before getting to Explosive Redux. No, Ingoria asks, why have you decided not to change from the default icons? Bruh Accounts IDK asks, why do you not use any other icons and only use the default ones? For the majority of my time playing Geometry Dash, I actually had a very different icon set. The dominant colours were purple and blue, and I used the godlike icon that you get from killing a certain amount of players. However, 4 years ago I lost all my data, including 90% of my old levels. Crylocked and Explosive were some of the only few that survived, and also all my icons, so I decided not to bother, and I haven't really bought any icons or anything either. I'm just sort of green now, all through. I do have a ridiculous amount of keys that I have stocked up that I haven't been doing anything with either, and I probably could. In fact, there's a lot of things in my Geometry Dash account that I just aren't used because I don't really see them as important anymore, and changing my icons is one of those things. Cunfy asks, what was your least favourite level in the entire game? And Frozen Waffles GD asks, what is your least favourite level to bot? Good question. Easy answer for both of those questions. Silent subscribers. There are probably levels out there that are way worse than Silent Subscribers, but for me and my experience with the level, it's definitely the worst level I've ever played, and it is still something working away in the background that I know I'm going to have to finish at some point. It started out as a 5-second demo that contained some pretty interesting gameplay to say the least, and at that stage it was called Silent Boogaloo. Then over the course of a month I rushed a layout so that I could release it when I hit 1,000 subscribers, as the song of the level was a 1k sub song, and I thought it'd be funny if I released an impossible level with the 1k sub song as my 1,000 subscribers special. However, the 1k sub song is 3 minutes long, so making 3 minutes of impossible gameplay in 1 month did not go well. Most of the sections are physically impossible, and there are lots of parts that sort of force you to fall outside the layout or fly up into the abyss with no return. My other initial plan was that I was going to have a botted showcase for the level when it hit 1000 subscribers. However, as I mentioned earlier, I quickly realised that this was impossible to bot, and ended up spending over 6 hours trying to bot this for nothing. Then of course, I now have the collaboration going on, which at the moment is so close to being complete, but yet so far away as so many people keep dropping their parts or not doing anything with them. And then of course we have the fact that once the collab is finished, I'm going to have to merge it, and then when I'm done merging it, I'm going to have to find a way to make it physically possible, while moving around all the decoration that's already placed and messing around with all those groups and things, just to try and make it work and sync with the music again. Then the final part, possibly the worst part depending on how poorly I bug fix this level, I will have to bot it again. And then after it's botted, the video will be uploaded and it will be great, because it will be all done. Apart from this level is going to have no legacy because the spam is too fast for the ILL and it probably won't meet decoration standards for the ILL either, and no one will want to bot it because it's just awful. Plus there'll be a 2.1 level released in the 2.2 era, so no one's going to care about it. So yeah, that's why Silent Subscribers is my least favourite level in the entire game, but the idea was there. It's fun to look at least. User KT7BCB40T7B asks, what level that you completed is your favourite one? Well, probably Explosive. Explosive was a level that I made that I thought for a good while was impossible, and then after I started getting a few runs on it, I began to realise that it was possible, and the further I got through the level, the more confident I felt that I could actually beat this level myself. So in my own head, I was verifying an impossible level, or at least a level that I thought was impossible. And then after Flipster09 beat Explosive, he beat it in a way that sort of abused some poor gameplay to pass an impossible ball click. So in the version that I was playing, slightly buffed, as I had patched the way that Flipster used to make the ball click possible. So I was pretty sure that that click that I made in my fixed version was a frame perfect. So despite all that, I did feel like I was still accomplishing something of merit, as I was verifying Explosive the way that it was meant to be beaten. Then of course I had that brutal fail at 98%, but I still kept going because I knew I could do it. Overall, the level was fun, well the wave part that is, the end ball section was pretty much luck based, but in total it took me 4,000 attempts to verify, so in total, Explosive is my favourite verification because of my journey with the level and what it did to my channel, and the fact that it made me feel like a pro player, even though I wasn't. GDFan6282 asks, do you think the minigame community will be harder to beat or easier in 2.2, and what minigames might there be? Well, 2.2 opens up a lot of possibilities in the minigame community, with platformer mode and all the new triggers. Floating Outskirts is possibly the best minigame that we'll see in 2.1, and I believe by the end of 2.1, and just by the way the standards keep elevating in the community, a level like Floating Outskirts might end up being the base standards for minigames in 2.2, and there's most likely going to be a massive renaissance of the minigame based levels in 2.2, and the next master game, or in other words, a minigame that's so out of this world good that most of us will question that it's even made in Geometry Dash. Plus the trigger assisted programming language is probably going to help with some of the more advanced minigame creations, if the trigger assisted programming language becomes more mainstream in the GD creator community. Static Wave 9611 asks, what kind of videos will you make in 2.2, and what do you think the future of your channel is? Very good question. Due to the physics engine and other parts of Geometry Dash being rebuilt from the ground up, there's no way Mega Hack or any other hack client for that matter is going to work successfully in 2.2, so botting popular levels is sort of out of the question, which is why right now when I'm writing this when 2.1 is still out, I've been trying to bot as many levels as I can while I still have it, but 2.2 will not. I'm still going to be able to make some large commentary videos, so I'll do some more of that. Plus, I'll have the stuff I've botted with my hack client in preparation for 2.2's release. And I've got a whole lot of footage that I haven't edited up that I can also work on and upload while I'm waiting for the hack client update. I could also do some more grinding of levels, maybe the main level list as I still haven't been in all the main levels yet. I might play around with a few 2.2 features. but I'll have to wait and see what 2.2 brings, as I've purposely been avoiding the many teasers as possible so I go into the update blind and I'll be surprised. DungeonGD asks, thoughts on Guitar Hero Styles copyright striking Zoink? Well, I only recently learnt why Guitar Hero Styles is a controversial figure. I mean, I knew he did something bad, but I didn't really know what. And regarding the whole Zoink thumbnail situation, it's sorta hard not to find it a little bit funny, but I'm not really gonna go into the situation as it doesn't really concern me as a content creator or the things I'm interested in making videos on. The Real Mike asks, thoughts on Element 11RG? While it's fun to look at and has an interesting history, too many people are seeing it as some sort of silent club step that needs to be recovered and verified and turned into a top 1 extreme demon. If that is the case, then I sorta hope that never happens, because the gameplay of Element 111RG is absolutely abhorrent. But from what I've seen of the proposed decoration, it looks pretty cool. But I sorta wish it was used for a different level, not Element 111RG. Lonesome395 asks, what are you most excited for in 2.2? The thing that I'm the most excited for when 2.2 releases is probably the camera controls. I can think of a lot of uses for the camera controls and levels I could make in the future. The custom speeds and free roam game modes that seem to come with the camera controls are incredibly interesting to me. I find especially with the really big highly decorated mega collabs that come out, if you go into layout mode you can find portals spammed all over the place, so that shipper or wave or whatever game mode can flow and follow the decoration. But in 2.2, there'll be no need for the excessive portal nonsense and we'll only need one portal, which is great. And also just the idea of having a level that's zoomed out really fast so you have to navigate through a maze of saws and the rocket just feels really interesting to me. And there's probably going to be a lot of the opposite as well, lots of levels that are basically built on cramming the gameplay into a tiny 2-block high chamber to give off a true claustrophobic feeling. I'm also really excited for the platformer mode as well, because it'll probably give story-focused levels in Geometry Dash a lot more to work with than they have currently. Also, platformer mode gives levels a higher replayability factor than they've ever had before. Twitter channel official asks, what's... You have scrolled to the end, Ninjadan, congrats. Hooray, I've answered all the questions, and that was the end of my 5,000 subscribers question series. Thanks for watching.